Hey, what up guys? How you doing? It is Lusty here. Welcome today to a new episode of the FIFA 19 Ultimate Team Road to Glory. Episode number 258 today. So we're going to start things off by doing a couple of SBCs that were out for like 24 hours, Thursday into Friday. That's where we're at with content right now. And then my first 5 games of the weekend league. So yeah, just note that the content is slightly shifted due to my trip in LA next week, like I mentioned in the last episode. And I'll probably mention in the next episode. But you know what the team's looking like. I just wanted to complete the Liga NOS TOTS Challenge and the Bundesliga TOTS Challenge, just because they seem like good value for money SBCs. And even though I don't have much stuff in my club, my rewards were helpful enough to give me enough players to just about complete them. And if you do enjoy today's episode, guys, do me a massive favor, smash that thumbs up button. I'd love to see 1,573 likes on today's episode. If you can make that happen on this Sunday, that would be amazing. Smash that thumbs up button. Thank you. Now, the pack from the Liga NOS TOTS SBC, meh. Carlos Soler, not great. But obviously now we have La Liga TOTS and the Turkish League TOTS out. And you'll see the next few episodes of this week will obviously be me either completing some of the weekly objectives to get a couple of those players, or just finishing off my weekend league and stuff so that I've got rewards for next week. And I think I'll actually be in Hollywood when those rewards come out. So I'll either have to try and take a console with me or find a way to record so that I can give you my live rewards next week as well with the Reds. So we get a TOTS actually in the pack from the Bundesliga one, and it was the worst TOTS that was out last week, which is the 87 rated goalie from Liga NOS. Nothing to write home about, but hey, you know, it is what it is. We got a TOTS, so it's a tradable one. It means that doing those SBCs was profitable. We can sell him for like 21.5k or something and make the profit that way, and then keep all the rest of those players in case I need them or they're useful for other things. So next up is marquee matchups, which of course is still out now until next Thursday. This is pretty meh, I would say. Like, they're really, really small marquee matchups. Like, a lot of bronzes and stuff being used, which is good, but the packs are obviously on par with that. They're just nothing special. But what I would say is that there was one of them, which is like Zaragoza versus... I missed it because I was fast forwarding, but the one which was the Spanish second league, those players, because you do need one of each, and also the one in the French second league as well. I feel like some of those silvers and stuff have risen quite a lot in price, so check your club for the marquee matchups players and either complete the challenge or sell any of the extra ones that you have on whilst their price is high. That's where bronze pack method and stuff really comes into play, and you can actually make some money. Or the League SBC grind, whatever it is that gets you bronze and silver players along the way that you can tradable or like sell on the market because they're tradable is obviously what that is for. You know, you never really get an opportunity to sell second league Spanish players, but now this week you can. So the rewards from marquee matchups were just nothing special. I think in the final pack here, we end up getting an 84, which is Callejon, which is alright because the 84s were up in price a fair amount, which means I could sell him on for like 5.5k kind of instantly. And then of course there's also like 11 other players in the club, or in the pack, which go to the club, including like Chris Smalling. So yeah, it's fine. It wasn't an amazing marquee matchups, but I think it was just about profitable because we had everything in our club already. So the team is looking absolutely fantastic. The TOTS sold and Callejon sold, and I bought a load of squad fitness cards as well because I was out of them. So we back up to like 30 of those, which is why my coins came down, but they've gone back up again to 35,000 coins in the club, which is not very many. But hey, we go into our first weekend league and we come up against a guy who I would say is somewhat of a veteran of the weekend league. Just seeing that a couple of reds that he's got, a red Mahrez and a red Salah, is pretty I don't know, it would have been intimidating at one point, but all that tells me now is that, yeah, you've been playing the weekend league for a little bit, so I know what to expect. You're probably going to be a fairly competent player. But I get gifted a penalty, and I score that with Ronaldinho. But take a look at the first-time shot there from the 91 Mkhitaryan. He obviously never reached his final form because Chelsea beat Arsenal in the Europa League final, but he is still very dangerous, and he actually scores again there. And you might have noticed that I switched my game plan at that point. I can't make make the 4-2-2 work for me. I reckon I could with time, but I didn't know it right now, and the weekend league is like clutch time, so obviously you need to be in the right position to do everything. So I switched it back to 4-2-3-1. Instantly we scored, instantly we went ahead, and I just felt more comfortable. Like, I know where the distribution lanes are for my players, and look at that for a first time effort from Sadio Mane. What a belter that is. Flies into the back of the net, and we go from 2-1 down to 4-2 up by the time half time comes around. So a bit of a let off. He scored his only 2 shots, so I was like, okay, what's Alisson actually doing? And then his third shot, he scores with Ibra. But you can expect that one to go in, because that was green timed with someone with 94 shooting. I wouldn't expect Alisson to necessarily save that one. And then, well, so I've been trying to learn, haven't I? You watched it in the last episode. Trying to learn when to shoot first time, because obviously that seems very OP, and that was an opportunity there which I scored with Mane, and it worked out a treat. But there are other times where I try and do intricate dribbling and stuff and get into the box, and that was where we scored our 6th goal. So 9 goals so far in the first match. He then lays it off to Ibra, which a lot of power behind that. Maybe I would hope my goalkeeper would get his hands to that. Alisson hasn't really saved much for us today, but he's in the team because he's my highest rated goalkeeper and he works for the squad, and I don't have enough coins to get some sort of great version of David De Gea. And then I score that, which I thought I would just try it, but I was very surprised that it actually worked out. Ronaldinho with the El Tornado volley. It was at a weird angle, so I guess the only reason it went in is because I greened it. But yeah, we end up winning 7-4 in an 11-goal thriller for our first game of the weekend league. I was like, oh god, this is good. If this is what's to come, it's going to be an eventful weekend league. So 7-4, GG's to that guy. I had loads of attempts, and I scored a bunch of goals, but yeah, I didn't really save many of his attempts. So then I go into my second game, and I'm like, whoa, what is this team? It feels very unfortunate to come up against such a crazy squad in game number 2. Normally the squads aren't on that level, but I guess everyone's team just is now. So yeah, it is what it is. And I go 1-0 down to this TOTS Werner, who is an absolute madman. He's so difficult to play against. I really, really struggled. His movement and ability is just absolutely fantastic. But straight from the kickoff here, I try a first-time shot with Ronaldinho, and it actually goes in. I was very surprised. The way that he hit that just didn't look like it was flying in the back of the net. But hey, we'll take the goal and we equalise straight away. And what a ball over that is from Julian Brandt. He crosses it in, and Werner is able to get on the end of it. Puts my opponent 2-1 up after 30-odd minutes. But we can push forward. I want to get back into this game. Good strength and good play on from Mane there. And a lot of keeper movement leaves me with a very, very open left-hand side of the goal. Or from when I'm shooting, the left-hand side. My keeper's right, or his keeper's right. Leads us to get that goal with Firmino to equalise at half-time. So 2-2, we go into the second half, all to play for. I genuinely felt like I was going to come away with a loss in this first game, but look, we get through again, and Bobby Firmino showing why he should be in the team. He's really good at shooting, and I do enjoy him a lot, especially at the central cam in a 4-2-3-1, and then, well, that is what it is. This is a very tough match. Every little helps, and that cross in from Ronaldinho led to an Ibra header, which effectively won us the game, or solidified us winning the game. It meant that I could see it out a little bit more comfortably. So that's 2-0, and now we can move on into our third match. My opponent in my third match had probably one of the weaker teams I've come up against so far. But that does also include Mbappe, Tots Robertson, a 94 Bruno Fernandes, which of course we got in our weekend league rewards as well, and Prime Moments Pires. Like, it's just a weird squad when you look at it. And I felt like I was going to do what I always do, which is sort of just underestimate this guy, especially when I go 1-0 up 15 minutes in. I'm like, okay, this is my match, and just take a look at half time. I didn't let him have any shots on goal, but I've only scored 1 of my 10 attempts on goal. I need to shape up, and I need to get goals, and it needs to work out a lot better for me. Finally, we get a goal in the 86th minute to effectively solidify the victory in this one. He'd had a man sent off, so it was a little bit more open in the defence. I think it was his Varane which actually got sent off. And then look, I'd brought Max Cruiser on, and he was able to actually stick that ball in the back of the net, and we do win 3-0. And I think that's enough to make him rage quit. Hitting the dab on him might have been a bit of a Yeah, it might have been the final straw, like, because let's face it was the 90th minute and I'd let him have one shot all game. It was my match to win, but maybe he should have just stayed for a minute longer or so to get the extra coins. And then we go into another match here at 3-0. We face a full special side of League One players, which I would say are not quite up to the current meta standard or the current standard of this game. Like, I was, as soon as I saw it, I was like, whoa, that's a crazy team. Lots of colourful card designs there. But then I was also like, you know what? My team is far better than this. I hit the inside of the post. Somehow that ball doesn't end up in the back of the net. Terrible shot from me. But hey, we play Mane through a little while later, and he actually gets on the end of it. Shows how much pace he's got, his ability to just knock it round the goalkeeper, get that equaliser, and there you go. So I've dominated the game, although my opponents had good possession and good pass accuracy. I felt a lot more comfortable on the ball against him, and I felt like we'd win this match eventually. And that was the goal which turned it to 2-1, and I was like, all right, fine. It was good reactions from Ronaldinho and myself in order to get in that situation, but what a goal to score. Now, across the goal shot there from Mane, hits the post and falls straight out to my substitute, Bruno Fernandes, who I figured I'd give a go for Bobby Firmino, because he's got very similar stats, and full stamina player at that stage of the game can be quite useful. But I think once I started like hitting some crazy shots and stuff, my opponent maybe got a little bit stressed, and I don't know, maybe the levels of my team, you can see we dominated, right? And that takes us up to 4 wins. He decides to rage quit at 3-1. And then the fifth and final game of the episode, then we come up against the guy, and I'm like, I try and analyze the team straight away. I see those 4 attackers, and I'm just like, okay, he is a dribbler. He is not going to be like crossing the ball in, trying to head it. He is trying to get the ball to their feet and then weave in and out without sprinting. I need to be quick on it with my Virgil van Dijk and hope that he can tackle them nicely. And I go 1-0 up after 14, 15 minutes. Sadio Mane with a couple of La Croquetas and a nice green timed finish there to put us 1-0 up. I then flick it up, whip it into the box, and Aubameyang gets there, but it comes off the post, and I don't know if that comes off of Mane or Chiellini, but one of them, I guess it's gone down as Mane's goal, and we're 2-0 up here, and looking pretty. I missed the opportunity. He actually moved his goalkeeper there to cover the near post, which was GG's from him, but it was GG's to me, really, because he decided at that point that I was, again, dominating the game, hadn't let him have a shot. Like, these first few games have been... a couple of my opponents have had good teams, especially the one with Timo Werner. But like I felt like we were dominant. I genuinely was playing good FIFA. I know the first 5 games are nothing to really like. I haven't hit like elos or anything yet where I'm coming up against people of the same or better form than me. It's all random at this point, I'm assuming. But yeah, this team, Da Costa is amazing. I'm much more comfortable with David Luiz than I am Laporte. Wijnaldum and Goretzka are unreal. Aubameyang is really falling off at this point in time, but he does a job for the first half. And then Mane is genuinely the craziest thing I've used this year. I absolutely love him. And Bobby Firmino, great. Ronaldinho, so much fun. It's a really nice team. The ability to actually have a final 4 Marcus Alonso to come on for Wijnaldum if I need that is good as well. Knowing that I've got Laporte, Eder Militao on the bench, Ibra and Bruno Fernandes as well as Max Kruse. Like, we've got good options on the bench there. Even the likes of Pogba and Nedved aren't really cutting it anymore and making it to my bench. They're in my reserves. That's kind of crazy. But yeah, that's going to wrap things up for today, guys. Depending on the weekly objectives, you might have one of those episodes tomorrow or carrying on in the weekend league in order for us to get to gold 3 or whatever. We'll get there at some point, but yeah, I might intertwine it with like a weekly objectives one if there's an online single matches or something. You'll know by the time you watch this anyway. So guys, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new, don't forget to follow me on Insta, follow me on Twitter. Those are going to be my main social media platforms for the next week or so whilst I'm in LA. So if you want to keep up to date with what I'm doing, then of course, yes, that would be recommended to come follow me over there. Just for the end of the video, for all of you that are still here, maybe some of you are still watching, when I am in LA, I'm not going to be able to create content all the way through. I reckon there's probably going to be like 5 days without Road to Glory episodes, just simply because we'll move over to like a new team of the season while I'm out there, and I don't want to be posting old content from the old TOTS, because even though I'm doing that right now and like it's less engaging for you guys, because even in this episode we packed like a Bundesliga or Liga NOS TOTS, and they've been gone for a couple of days. I don't really want to do that. So, yeah, there'll be a few days off before I come back again and get back into the content. So I hope you guys are all right with that. It'll be our first major break from the Road to Glory this year. Hope you've enjoyed. Have a lovely day, everyone, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.